Goody? All right.
Let's go with Gangsta Goody.
All right, we'll stick with the theme here tonight. All right, so what I did was I like to do this every now and again. Go back and look at the past draft classes that the Packers put together. And then what are you laughing about?
They look young.
They do, don't they? They do.
Yeah, especially Goody.
Yeah, so I like to put together their past draft classes and go, okay, what are the PFF grades of these players? Are they even on the roster now? That type of thing, right? So here we go. Conehead Goody. Why y'all got to be like that, man? Somebody said it. I look like Goody. I was like, what are y'all talking about? We look nothing alike. Right? I hope that's the case. I don't look like that guy either. God almighty. So here we go with the 2025 NFL season fast approach, and we're taking a quick look at each of Brian Gutekunst's recent draft classes along with each player's 2024 PFF grade. I repeat, these are their PFF grades from 2024. Do you guys want to start with the oldest draft class or the newest draft class? Obviously not including this year. They haven't played a year. What would y'all rather do? Would you rather like start in the pass or work our way backwards?
You take that one, Emilio.
I was going to say start in the pass and work our way forward.
Okay, let's do that. So we'll start down here, and it's going to look ugly early, okay?
That's fine. That's totally fine. You got to go through it.
Emilio, so let's get the bad news out of the way.
Seriously.
Right? So this was the 2021 draft class, okay? With the 29th pick, Eric Stokes, he has been cut. With the 62nd pick, Josh Myers, he has been cut. Pick 85 in the third round, he has been cut. Royce Newman, fourth round pick, cut. TJ Slayton, 173. I put cut, but you guys know he basically went into free agency, got that $7 million offer. I can't remember where he's playing, but
Bengals, I believe.
Bengals, okay. Round 5, pick 178, Shamar Jean Charles, no longer on the roster. He's been
Appy State. I did not know he went to Appy State. I forgot about that.
Oh man, I didn't.
DJ would have loved him if he made it.
Oh yeah. Pick 214 out of the 6th round, Cole Van Lannon, cut. Pick 220, round 6, Isaiah McDuffie, all right, still on the roster. So he's the only player that was drafted by the Packers that's still on the roster, as Colin Hill at pick 256 was also cut. So Isaiah McDuffie.
Hopefully he's doing well, by the way. Kylan Hill was an injury-related deal. Yeah. Real bad for him, kind of cut his career short. So hope he's doing well now post-football.
Definitely. Isaiah McDuffie, 55.4. What's your all's take on that draft class, team? You can go first, man. Hey, look, I ain't going to sugarcoat it. That's pretty ugly, right?
Yeah, my thoughts are yeah, that's it. I mean, I like the TJ Slayton pick. Yeah, that's about it. I was excited about Stokes. Stokes, when he got here, he popped pretty well as a rookie, but
his rookie year, right, was like, hey, we may have something, but swing and a miss. I bought into that.
I would think this arguably is probably his worst draft class, I think.
Yeah. And Dave's MX6 says Van Lannon was traded, wasn't he? May have been. Again, if I put cut, it just means they're no longer on the roster, right? Just like TJ Slayton, he wasn't necessarily cut. They let him test the market, and they got outbid in the market. That would suggest it's a good pick, right? Seeing that another team paid $7 million for him. You guys know how I felt about TJ Slayton. I would love to have had him back for $5 million. Once it got to $7 million, I'm going, okay. At some point, you got to have a no point. You know what I mean, Emilio? You got to be able. You got to get to that. It's all right. I'm not paying that much for that taco. You know what I'm saying?
Seriously, I mean, I'm not gonna do it. I'm just not. And you look at it, and you maybe look at this last year. Okay, we still have Josh. Stokes was still here. So looking at it now, 4 years out, he ran out of all their rookie contracts. So it's really just okay. Who is going to be who has made it up and past that rookie contract? Really, it's Isaiah McDuffie, and that's it. So I'm not mad at TJ, not mad at everybody else really that tried. It just didn't work out, and you're going to have that. But if we didn't have all these cuts, we wouldn't have the youngest team and have all these, this new blood rolling in. The amount of picks that Goody wants to keep every year, there's not enough numbers. There's not enough spots. So at some point, it was going to have to happen.
Yeah, definitely. All right, let's go to the year 2022, and you can see it gets a little bit better here, boys. So first round pick 22, Quay Walker, his PFF grade last year of 57.4, right? We've been pretty vocal about that. Pick 28 there in the first round, Devontae Wyatt, 66.4. You guys know how I feel. 65 and above, you're kind of all right. You're on par. It's not great, obviously, but you're kind of NFL level player, in my opinion. You get below 65, below 60, that's where I'm like, probably
65%.
65%. That's what we probably need to try to replace him with somebody better. Christian Watson, I know injury cut the season short, but he did have a significant amount of snaps last year. That was pick 34 there in the second round, had a 70 PFF grade last year. I think we would all agree that was a hit of a pick. Just got to stay healthy. Next, you got in the third round, pick 92, Sean Ryan, a 61.3. I'm going to say that's a miss for me, right? Like you expect the third rounder to be able to contribute a little bit more than I think a Tucker Kraft, right? That type of player. And again, PFF isn't everything. It's just a quick little way for us to measure these guys. Fourth round, pick 132, Romeo Doubs, 69.7. Again, I don't think they're going to extend him, but I think that's proven to be a good pick. Yeah, how do you guys feel about Romeo Doubs? Let me stop there for a second. What do you think about Romeo? Do you think that was a good draft pick there in the fourth round? I think it was a great pick.
Oh, yeah, I love Rome. I've always been a big Rome fan. I think it was a good pick. I think he's a little misunderstood and, whatever. But out there on the football field, man, when he's on, man, Dobby is fun to watch, man.
Well, yeah, looking at that class, I mean, Sean Ryan's still getting starting reps. Romeo's getting starting reps. Zach Tom starting. Kingsley's basically, rotating starting. Quay started the whole time. Devontae's rotating starting. Christian's starting. That's a good class. You can't be mad at it. Obviously, the numbers aren't perfect, but you're getting play time from these players, and you're not. Looking at that, if you wanted to put another number next to the sides, put all their their
snap counts.
One, snap counts, Tim, and then two, how much they cost the team.
Yeah,
and you tell me that you're mad at that, right?
Exactly.
You can't be.
I feel like this was the bounce back draft after that disaster in 2021. I think Goody got his swag back in 22.
Got him.
It's the weirdest looking do-rag, man. It's like you get some tissue in the top of it or something. What the hell's going on here?
He's keeping the braids down, man. He had to keep them down.
Respect Orange just says, I love Dobbs, but he's probably not here next year. Yeah, I'm feeling like 95% sure he's not going to be a Green Bay Packer next year. It sucks it couldn't have worked out any differently because I like Dobby too, but he definitely didn't help himself last year, Right. And it's just crazy because I think back to all the crazy contested catches he made, especially in that Saints game. That contested catch in the Saints game coming down the stretch to basically give them the lead,
Right.
It's just so many times back shoulder that when you talk about back shoulder chemistry, he has it with Jordan more than anybody, right? And let's hope.
I was just going to say chemistry in general with Jordan. That's why I was fighting for Dobbs for so long. They have that, that mind meld kind of that they've already built together. So is that something you want to lose? If it's going to be a headache to the team, yeah. If it's going to be an injury to the team, sure. If he doesn't want to be here, definitely. But they do have that connection.
Yeah. All right, up next, Zach Tom. You guys think this is a hit? 85.8, fourth round, pick 140.
Here's the guy.
There's nothing else to say. We're going to get into the market value tomorrow. We'll hit on that a little bit. That should be a blast of a conversation there, which I was pleasantly surprised at what his market value is showing. If we get him at that number, I think we're good. I think we're good to go. Next, you got in the fifth round, pick 179, Kingsley Enagbare with a 56.8. Last year, he showed flashes too. I was very high on him in the draft. I remember we went 2 full rounds with him, the highest player on my board before Goody took him. And when they finally took him, I'm like, that's great value. And he's shown it. He's shown at times he can rush the quarterback. I remember Michael Lombardi talking about him as well. Like he's a guy that really jumped off the tape to him.
Yep.
But he plays, undisciplined at times, and he just can't be consistent in that regard. So Tariq Carpenter, that hybrid linebacker / safety, pick 228. He obviously no longer on the team. Jonathan Ford, defensive lineman, pick 234. I think we put him on the practice squad, and then I believe the Bears picked him up last year, if I remember correctly. So that's a miss. Rasheed Walker, however, pick 249. You got that PFF grade of 68.7. You're talking about a seventh-round pick. I think that was – I don't know if home run's the right word. Of course, when you look at the pass blocking, yeah, I guess you would say it was a home run, right?
Yes.
Round pick for Rasheed. And then, of course, you had Samori Toure, who no longer on the team as well. He was picked 258 there in round 7. So when you look at this class, I feel very comfortable saying it's gotten significantly better from last year, right? For the year before, I should say. So you kind of look at it and you go, I don't see Quay as a hit, me personally. However, if you go to like what you guys were saying with Sean Ryan, he's starting. that tells you what Goody thinks about him. That tells you what Matt LaFleur thinks about him, right? So maybe so. But if I were to pick how many hits here, out of what was there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 draft, 10, 11 draft picks. So out of 11 draft picks, I would say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I would call hits out of 11 for me there. So
I would agree.
And looking at it, how we had 3 7th rounders, 2 4s, 2 5ths, or a 5th, and again, you're going to run out of roster spots at some point. They had to go. Tariq got to go. Those they have to move on. But we're going to lose if we go to look at this next year. If we go back and look at all these draft classes again, probably half of this is going to be cuts as well. You're going to run out of those 4 years. You're going to run out of the contract, and that's just the name of the game.
Yeah. Yep. Bungie Cheddarbug, what a name, in the chat says your top 6 picks are starters currently. That's a great point.
Great point. And Kingsley Enagbare is a great rotational guy. I maybe don't love him as a starter in the starting role, but rotating in, he's a spark plug on that D.
Mm-hmm.
There were times where he just absolutely beat tackles like a drum, man. It's like, holy cow. And then you'd see him jump, leave his feet when he didn't need to, and a quarterback run right. It's like, what are we doing, bub? Just play discipline. You're winning your matchups. You really are. So, let's see. All right, let's go on to now the 2023 class here. And again, this is where you're getting to that range where it's like, okay, the verdict's still kind of out on these guys, right? Like, I'm not ready to write them off completely yet, because sometimes, like, let me give you an example. For everybody that loves Trey Hendrickson, I don't remember one. I shouldn't say that. The majority of Packer fans were like, trade for Trey Hendrickson, trade for Trey Hendrickson. The reality is Lucas Van Ness has been more successful in his first 2 years in the league than Trey Hendrickson was his first 2 years. That's cold, hard facts.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why you got to be careful and kind of let these guys develop. If LVN doesn't take a big step this year, now I'm kind of okay. Yeah, it's probably ain't working out. But here are the picks. Pick 13, 52.9 for Lucas Van Ness. Pick 42 in the second round, Luke Musgrave, 47.1 PFF grade, injury history there as well. Pick 50, round 2, Jaden Reed, 71.7. Love that pick. Pick 78 in the third round, Tucker Kraft, a 67.8. Although if you look at the statistics from last year, you're talking about a guy who put up some numbers that would say if he got more targets, he would be on par with the top 3 tight ends in the league. The fact that they're not targeting him more, you blame the coaches for that. You can't blame the player. There's no doubt about it. I think they will get him more involved this year. Round 4, pick 116, Colby Wooden with a 50.0. Round 5, pick 149, Sean Clifford obviously has not graded out. He hasn't played a significant amount of snaps yet. Pick 159, round 5, Dontavion Wicks with a 65.1. I know I'm going to get roasted for this, and I don't care. He had a solid rookie year, drop issues last year, but like Wildy pointed out, the second half of the season, he fixed the drop issue, or maybe it was the last third of the season.
Yep.
He really started to clean that up, and he's our separation guy as well. 65.1 according to PFF, decent player there. And again, he graded even higher his rookie year. So I'm holding out hope still that Dontavion Wicks is going to get back to his rookie year form, fix the drops, and you're going to have a dude that can play X if Romes isn't here next year.
Mm-hmm.
Round 6, pick 179, Carl Brooks at a 61.8. Round 6, pick 207, Anders Carlson. You guys think he was a hit? Probably not, right? All right, round 7, pick 232, Carrington Valentine, 65.5.
Let's go.
Value. Then you had Lou Nichols, Anthony Johnson Jr., and Grant DeBose all in the 7th round. They are no longer on the team there. So and with Anthony Johnson Jr., it doesn't surprise me he's no longer on the team, because when they moved on from Joe Barry, he was a top-down kind of guy. He kind of fit that Fangio style. So You're going to have some guys that don't make it. Not that he was a great player, not that he panned out, but just that comes into play as well. What do you think about this class here, Emilio? How many do you think were hits here? Who are the hits?
Dogs, man. I mean, just up and down the board. Obviously, the numbers aren't there, but, you got LVN, Luke. I'm excited to see where they go this year. Jaden Reed Tucker wins. Colby Wooden, from where he came, I mean, came in a little bit lighter. He's been putting weight on, just getting better each year. Again, he's with Luke and Lucas. Sean Clifford has been the backup we could ask for. Everyone that called for the big red dog to come out, I'm glad it didn't happen, but he's been there for him. He's always cheering him on. He's always got he's always got the board. He's always right there. I'm sure rattling info to Jordan. Tay Wicks, like you said, I hope he turns it up this year because he's got the skills for it. We just need to see it kind of happen again. Carl Brooks has been a dog for us, and Valentine is again a win for where we got him in the 7th. That you just go back and look at how many wins you had in the 4th round and later on all these drafts. I feel like you got to be excited about what Goody's done scouting wise. It doesn't end at the 1st round, right? And even though we might have had a little bit of trouble with our 1st rounders, he has saved it and kept us on track because of how well he does in the later rounds.
Yeah. And Tim, you had 13 draft picks here. Somebody said it in the chat, probably too many picks here, right? And I think they can be a thing. I really do, man. Like you kind of, okay, we got picks where we can make up for that. If it don't pan out, let's take a swing here. Well, maybe it's not the safest pick type thing, but what do you think about this class here?
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take, right?
Yeah.
Michael Scott, Wayne Gretzky. No, I think that was probably the goal with this draft, right? Is, you're not going to hit. You never hit on everyone in a draft. It's very rare unless you end up with 3 or 4 picks and you just get 3 or 4 dogs or something. But
right.
I agree with Emilio's assessment. I would think my hits would be a little on the fence with LVN, but I don't feel like that's a miss. Same thing with Musgrave. But Jaden Reed, that's a hit. Tucker Kraft, that's a hit. Colby Wooden could prove to be a hit. The big red dog, man, I got to be honest. I think Mr. Elgersma, the Mr. Canada might take his job. We'll see. But Tay Wicks, I think, is a hit. Carl Brooks a hit, and we won't talk about the rest other than best wishes to Grant DeBose out there right now. Hopefully trying to get back to football after kind of a scary season last year with Miami. So hopefully he's doing well.
Yeah. So when I look at it, you got 13 picks here, and I think 1, 2, 3, 4. Carl's tough, man.
Yeah.
Because, again, you had the block kick against Chicago that won you the game.
Yep.
You're talking about a guy who was drafted in the 6th round, too. Like, if you grade out in the 60s after the 5th round, you kind of feel pretty good about that pick, So, yeah, let's count Carl. So I would say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, according to PFF, would be hits. I'm going to call LVN a miss right now. I'm going to call Luke Musgrave a miss right now, and Colby Wooden a miss right now. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. That could change this year. I hope LVN just comes out and shuts everybody the heck up, man. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
Jay Cole said Carl's a good backup. It's a great point. Played a lot of one tech too.
Yeah.
People don't realize that because you think of him as a pass rusher and a pass rushing interior defensive lineman, but he played a lot of one tech, held up at the point of attack. So
I kind of put him in that same category as Enigbari, right? Guys that you really love in a rotational aspect.
Yeah, definitely. All right, moving on to the 2024 draft class. Jordan Morgan obviously battled the shoulder injury in camp. It nagged him all year until it finally landed him on IR. I always say if a rookie grades out in the 60s, it's a good sign like, hey, we may have something there, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I remember correctly, Zach Tom graded out in the 60s his rookie year to put things into perspective. And that's why we said that about Eric Stokes. He graded out in the 60s his rookie year. He ends up having a horrible injury. What was it, year 2, I think? And he was never kind of the same player. He just never could put it back together. But Jordan Morgan, 59.2, so he's kind of on the cusp. And again, battling the shoulder injury. If you're grading out borderline 60 according to PFF and you battled that shoulder injury all year, I'm feeling good about what he's going to do healthy. I think he'll take a step forward this year.
All right.
Man, pick 45, Edgerrin Cooper, 85.
Here's a guy.
Home freaking run, right? Then you got pick 58, Javon Bullard at a 54.2. I'm going to say
to be determined.
Yeah, definitely. And this is where you're really into you can't write any of these guys off at this point, right? Because you're talking about going into the 2nd year of their career. Marshawn Lloyd, a 53.3 in the 3rd round there. I'm excited to get him on the field. Obviously, that was minimal snaps last year. What did he play in like the first 2 or 3 weeks? Limited snaps, and then he was done. It might have even actually been week 1, but
I think so.
His career or his season ended real quick.
Yeah.
Next, you got Tyron Hopper. Minimal snaps again, but a 60.7 3rd round pick 91. That's a good sign. Evan Williams, slam dunk, 72.5 as a rookie in the 4th round. Goody hits on those 4th rounders, boys. He does. Then you got Jacob Monk, who played pretty much 0 snaps for the most part last year. Pick 163. We'll see what happens there. Katano Ladapo started to get some more snaps toward the end of the year. 72.9 for Mr. Ola Home Depot. Fifth round pick, 72.9. If he ends up panning out, what if he ends up being the safety of the future alongside Xavier McKinney? That wouldn't surprise me, because according to our board, we got 2 of the top 3 safeties on our draft board that year. Javon Bullard and Katano Ladapo were number 2 and number 3 on our draft board according to safeties. Evan Williams a little bit lower. We missed on that. We missed, not Goody. But Katano Ladapo, though, Amelia, were you going to say something about him, man?
Yeah, no, I was just, the fact that when he got a couple of chances to play, he was playing, as good as kind of Evan was when he first got a couple of chances to play. I love that. And the fact that, we have a DB whisperer, all those things. If the big 3 or, if we're going big or 3 safeties, I think that's a possibility. I think that's where maybe we can be a little bit light in the corner room if we have to, and we can play. I think he likes just the bigger body safety, being able to come down, play the ball, and play pass as well.
Yeah. Next, you got this guy, Travis Glover. Tim, I'm going to give you the floor. Here's the guy. I'm going to give you the floor here, Tim.
You're going to give me the floor? I'm going to pass it right over to the president of the Travis Glover fan club, Mr. Excelio.
Okay, the only reason he's got a 35-1 right now is because they threw him in to the Eagles game.
They literally
at left guard, which he's never played before. Obviously, he's practiced it. But you're going to tell me that that's the grade that man deserves? No, sir.
Oh, my God. Amelia, they threw him in like chum in a Shark Tank, didn't they, bro? They're like, go out there and fix this whole damn thing, Travis.
It was like, all right, I get it. We need to build the wall, and I like that you're using Travis to do that, but to throw him into the middle of it, it's like you threw him in there when the concrete was wet and he just started sinking. That's not his fault.
Oh boy, here comes Emilio trying to hop up Travis Glover. We need a T-shirt, man. We need a T-shirt with Emilio.
Giving Travis Glover a hug.
I'm going to get AI to make a picture of Emilio, take his face, and make it like crying, screaming, and put "Leave Travis Glover alone" on the top of it, on the front of the T-shirt, and we'll put the PTA logo on it.
I still should have got a picture with whoever was wearing that Glover jersey in Nashville. I should have done it.
I'm going to stop talking about Travis Glover because my hammy just locked up, and I about screamed like a that's the Glover gods out there.
Wait till he's our swing tackle.
Yeah, wait. I'm going to say this, Emilio. We give you hell over Travis Glover. I was crazy about Michael Pratt. Mm-hmm. He didn't even make it out of camp, bro.
At least I got him back on the team for another year.
They threw him out on his head.
Like I said, if he makes the roster, I'm bringing in the wheelbarrow like Stan from South Park, okay? I mean, we are walking that thing in here if that's the case.
Right. And then, of course, you got Kalen King, who didn't play a significant amount of snaps last year, but I think we would all agree. I think he's got some high upside. He's one of the fan favorites for sure. I'm excited to see him get some snaps. And again, if Ja's gone, maybe that's a role for Kalen King to rise up the depth chart, make the active roster, and be able to kind of play that depth role there, right? That's how you get that guy on the field to a certain extent. Not replacing Jair, don't take me the wrong way, but just getting him more snaps, or some snaps at that. So again, when you look at that draft class, out of how many picks? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 picks, right? In 2024. I would say 1, 2, 3. I'm going to call Javon Bullard a hit right now. I'm definitely not going to write him off. So that would be 4, Adrian Cooper 5, and I'm going to say Jordan Morgan 6. So I feel really good about 6 of the 11 right now. And honestly, I feel good about Marshawn Lloyd too. He just didn't get enough snaps to kind of solidify that grade, I believe. So what do you got?
I feel good about Travis Glover, so we might as well roll that into 7, 8 with so we're good.
So, Tim, when you look at this draft class, is there anybody on this list, being only 1 year in, other than Michael Pratt, of course, who's no longer on the team, is there anybody here that you go, nah, that he's not going to be a guy. He's just not going to work out. Does anybody stick out to you, or do you feel like, no, we got to give these guys time?
I feel like we got to give these guys time.
Even Travis Glover?
Yeah, I'm gonna say that because we like O-line depth, and a guy that's already 1 year into a system, you can't, throw the baby out with the bathwater, right? It's his rookie year. Like Emilio said, he got thrown into the fire, into a spot he wasn't particularly used to playing in a gigantically huge game, biggest game of the year, biggest game of his pro career at that time. And yeah, he fell on his ass. Okay. I'm not going to write the guy off. I do think that there's potential with all these guys. I will say this. I'm most excited to see KT Oladapo, Tyron Hopper, and Marshawn Lloyd's second year jump. I want to see these guys, take those strides. And then Kalen King also on the back end, like you just mentioned. So, but no, I'm not willing to write anyone off after one season. I'm not at this point.
Emilio, anything else you want to say other than anything about Travis? No, I think that I've made my case. I think I've made my case for him to make the 53.
You think you made your case?
No, but good footwork, good hands.
I want to pat you on the butt and you poop my hand. So
yeah, you're right, Matt. You're right. I just hope for the best for him. That's all. Everyone else is tearing him down. Someone's got to pick him up. I could do the same thing with Tyron Hopper. I think he's going to be a dog.
Hey,
no one's talking about him.
Stay away from Hopper, sir. I just want to remind everybody Hopper graded out of 60.7. All right. So
here's the guy.
I don't know about that, Tim. Let's don't go that far. All right, we'll see. But I don't know, man. I was watching the San Francisco game last night, and he got a little bit of mop-up time because we just absolutely boat raced him last year, right? And it was I seen it. The big thing about Hopper is he's going to be good against the run. You can see he's a heavy hitter, right? He's one of those guys that kind of brings the boom, but he's not, as good in coverage. So that's kind of where I'm at on Hopper for sure. I think he's got a lot of potential there. The fact that they took him in the third round, he was one of those guys that kind of like this year. How many did we end up with, Amelia? Do you remember how many draft picks that we were like they were kind of primed for the pick and we took them? Was it 3? Am I thinking right? Because once we added Savion's top 30 visit, I think 3 were what we ended up.
Correct. Yeah, Matthew Golden was a 30 visit. He just wasn't. He just didn't have the gold bar. But yeah, Savion was gold bar captain, and Anthony Belton was gold bar target, and Taylor Elgersman was as well. And Micah Robinson was just not a gold bar, but 30 visit met with.
Got it. So we're kind of hitting on that. We put that list together. You got somewhere between 10 to 13 players that make that list, and we're drafting 2 to 3 of them, it feels like.
Right.
So excited to continue to refine that. I mean, that was fun draft season this year. An absolute blast. So anything else you guys want to hit on here in terms of these draft classes here recently from Goody? Let's see what they said in the comments. Chris N says, wow, this is a young man's game. Papa Smurf just saying great information. Appreciate you there, Papa Smurf. Anything else you guys want to hit on here before we move on to another topic or get ready to wrap up?
We trust. Yeah, exactly, Tim, because he's compared. Go ahead and do this with other GMs. I mean, he didn't have to go out and just buy players with a lot of money. He's got a young team. He's pretty green light on the salary cap. I mean, go talk to the Saints. Go talk to the Cowboys. See what's going on over there with their money situation, and you'd come back and say, okay, Goody's actually doing pretty decent over here. I'm pretty happy with it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
All right. There you go. So there's just a walk down recent memory lane with Brian Gutekunst's draft classes. I feel like he's getting better. I do. Like when I say getting better, it's just like they're finding their sweet spot now because they've done really well. I feel like in the last 2 years hitting on